That often it's the big baddie who's celebrated in a horror film, right? Jason, Chucky, Pinhead, and Freddy. They're all amazing, iconic figures in the genre. We love them and the actors who portray them. But what about the ladies, huh? Anyone who knows me knows I adore my sisters in horror. They kick out screams, who fight evil, and show us through a combination of wits and smarts how to prevail and stay alive. Some of the women don't make it, but the victim in a scary movie is important too, right? Through the peril and demise of the deceased, the final girl can study the villain and determine how to defeat the evil that's stalking the family, the sorority house, the town, and the whole world. I promise I'm almost done. Tonight, we are paying homage to the ladies of Elm Street, the bystander, the victims, and the heroine herself, the friend, Tina, who took the fall for the greater good. Marge, the mom, who stood by lovingly, despite being haunted by her past. The teacher, there's always a teacher, who highlights the heroine's strengths and weaknesses. And the final girl herself, Nancy! One of the bravest, fiercest, scream greats of all time. You know, and I like that term, scream, because we're going to talk about that later. After the movie, please stay for a conversation with the ladies of Elm Street. Lynn Shay, Robbie Blakely, Benjamin, and
Everything's all right now.
He was a filthy child murderer who killed at least 20 kids in the neighborhood.
I want to introduce you, you all know them, you all love them, to the ladies of Elm Street. Because it's the 40th anniversary. And you've been to a lot of conventions. Have you been going to conventions together?
A lot of them together.
A lot of them together. Just talk into the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Really, Southern Baptist kind of wasn't allowed to even see a film.
Very conservative.
Or see television ever. So you can imagine someone like that who's just been a person whose imagination has been developing his whole life, and then breaks with that, and the break must have been quite, dramatic, because he did change quite a bit, and of course, we would often tell him, go see this movie, go see that movie, because he hadn't had like a lot of experience. He was creating things, out of his own brain, it wasn't a lot of references. I mean, some of them are references, but a lot of them he just created his own, magic.
There's so many iconic moments in the film that you think about, I mean, Johnny Depp going into the bed, and, Freddy on fire, and Freddy first coming out with the hands and the knives for fingers. And
I guess the word I was using, like, trying to think derivative. Like when you see all of his images, they don't derive from anything except, well, like the lamb is like such a symbol like you see in the Bible, or the symbols are all, they're understandable, but they're also very fresh. Like
The stairway, when you go up that stairway.
Yeah, the stairway. Well, that was Bob's nightmare. The
That's
stairway.
my
Her
brother.
came up with
That's my
that.
family.
Yeah, have you ever had that nightmare? Because that was Bob saying, we're doing the scene, like, I want her feet to mush into the scene.
He must have had that dream.
He did, he said he had that dream.
Wow.
And did you have, we have Freddy Krueger, the big bad guy, and I've been in a couple movies with some big bad people, like Herbert West. And when those characters, I don't want to say they're easy to play, but they're showy, you know what I mean? And for the people that are in the film that the villain is coming after, they're playing real people with real issues, and deep and complicated, layered performances have to come out of these women, and especially in this movie. And sometimes I feel like the women don't get as much of their due, because we're mostly the victims, or we're the final girl or the heroine, but we're not the showy kind of person. So knowing that, and using that hypothesis, how did you approach your role, thinking, oh my God, I have to play with this big bad guy that's coming after me, that it seems so surreal, it's not really real. What was that like when you were trying to embody your characters playing with this kind of crazy, villain?
I think that when I read the script and I saw the part of Nancy, I really thought she was kind of like a Hercules. Like, she just had these trials, one after another, and she just was going to keep fighting, whether it's, the Hydra or whatever it is. She had the Gordian knot. Like, you have all these things that you have to solve. And I felt in those days there was still a possibility that the hero of the movie would become the celebrated character. I didn't realize, and I hadn't really seen a movie where, like, even with The Exorcist, the evil, the evil devil is not really what everyone celebrates. Everyone still is celebrating The Exorcist and Linda Blair. But so I wasn't prepared to see Freddy be the one who was going to be the star. And it took many years still.
It pisses me off sometimes.
But I never thought the movie was going to be a hit either. So what did I do? But I really thought, this is a really great part,
But look how you're striking.
I'm the hero of this incredible story, but it never really panned out that way, that I felt that it was going to be received that way until recently. And then, like, in the last maybe 10 to 15 years, I think because women have, like, you have been such champions of the whole women in film and, celebrating these parts.
The final girls, not Scream Queens,
Yeah.
but the final girls, yes. And
We were talking earlier that these roles, like with just the word final girl and the word scream queen, there's something so reductive about it that film criticism and people in college who are writing their papers, they've been able to like reduce like thousands of women's parts into a little channel that we can just say it's a final girl, say it's a scream queen, like we understand what that is, but we don't do that for men's parts. We just really don't.
I just have one thing to say about your performance. For me, you see the young girl's strength build and build and build. No, but it becomes at the end your power. I mean, I watched that evolution right in that performance, which is what I thought was so beautiful. You're totally different. You become a woman in the movie. I mean, you see this coming, and you do it so beautifully and so it is convincing because that's who you are.
Wes charted that whole thing, and we often talked about that on the set. Just where are we now? Where is the?
But you see yourself.
What's
You
happening?
see.
Is Nancy? Yeah,
because you still
You
shot
emerge
everything
as a
backward.
really powerful woman at the end of the movie.
And she does all that athletic stuff with all the drafts.
Yeah, that's